Welcome back, everyone. March is National Pet Poison Prevention Month, a time dedicated to drawing attention to the dangers of animal poisoning. Things like human foods, medications, those household chemicals like cleaning supplies could all have detrimental effects on your pet's health. The Animal Poison Control Center alone reported more than 350,000 calls just last year. So let's talk about how to protect our pets with Brett the vet, who's here on this Tuesday. So what's relevant here in Arizona, especially as it pertains to our landscape?
Well, it's a great time of year to talk about this subject because it's spring. Everybody's putting the pre-emergence on.
Sure.
I think it's really important that if you do it yourself or if you hire somebody, that you kind of know what the active ingredients are. Most of these are generally safe after they're applied.
Sure.
But there's still these pockets. We get this every year where the dogs kind of get in there, get into contact with these, get it on their feet, lick it off, etc.
Right.
And they can come into they can present sick. Pretty
Okay.
seriously.
Certainly. Okay, so watch the sprays, the weed killers. I know
Yeah.
even if you get them on your rocks, just be mindful of that.
Yeah, know what the ingredients are, talk to your provider or keep the label if you're doing it yourself. And then the things you really want to do if you think there's a known exposure is going to be rinse your dog's feet off, rinse their mouth off
And that
adequately.
that's our next question, because if there is an accidental ingestion or that exposure, what are some of those things that you can do immediately to help your pet?
Yeah, for those environmental things or the things like in your house, like the xylitol gum or
Right.
rat
Oh, we saw
poison.
that,
Talk to
yes.
the critter control people too about if you're using stuff to control critters at home, what's being used. Xylitol, but xylitol, things like that. What do you do if you eat it? If you have a known exposure, known ingestion, get in right away to the vet if you can.
And when you were looking at that graphic for the viewers at home, you were seeing some of the obvious ones, the chocolate, the xylitol we've been covering lately. If your dog gets a hold of a pack of gum, that can be detrimental. Peanut butter sometimes has that in it as well.
Yeah.
So, these things you think, oh, I need to maybe give my dog their medication, I'll cover it in peanut butter. That's a no-no.
No, we're all learning this difficult lesson with peanut butter.
Yes.
Sometimes medications like Benadryl, children's Benadryl
Sure.
has those things. So be very aware of what's in the ingredients you're giving your pet. I think too, with what can you do?
Yes, like
What do
home
you
remedies,
do?
especially if you maybe can't get to the vet in time.
That's right. If you can get to the vet, go immediately.
Sure.
We want to induce vomiting, step number one. And we do that either with a medication at our clinic, or you can do it at home with some peroxide. Everybody's household ingredient peroxide is about 1 ml per pound. You just kind of hold their mouth up and drop some down.
Okay.
A couple of tablespoons. That upsets the tummy, forces them to throw up.
But the peroxide's not going to have another harmful side effect.
None
It's
at
better
all.
to get them to wow.
It's just basically water. I mean,
Okay.
It converts to water after
Certainly.
it blows up with the bubbles, but it makes you throw up.
Okay.
And if you've eaten something quickly, like the chocolate or the xylitol.
The raisins.
Yes, things that it's not everything's safe to vomit up, though. Some of these household chemicals can be worse.
And harmful, I would imagine, to the esophagus
on the
or
way
the
back out.
inner lining. Wow.
Yeah, so vomiting, peroxide, if that doesn't work, get into the vet. Know where your emergency clinic is, too, if we're closed.
And the reason why, it's not just because this is, Poison Prevention Month, but obviously we have Easter coming up a little earlier this year. There's going to be lots of Easter eggs hidden in the backyard for the kids, chocolates, things like that. So what should people keep in mind? That let's talk about the obvious.
Yeah, try and keep that stuff out of your pet's harm's way.
reach.
We talk a lot about this on the shows where not all the pets enjoy the holidays as much as we do.
Certainly.
So sometimes your pets are better off isolated from some of the activities. And let's not forget about cats.
Right.
It's Easter lilies are the lilies are toxic to cats, create kidney failure. So you want to make sure that they're not over there munching on any part of that.
Or even playing with it, getting it in the paws and stuff like that, because that stuff can linger. Oh, it's such
One
good
other
advice.
thing that's
Yes,
good,
sir.
quick before I forget.
Yeah.
Peroxide, activated charcoal.
Okay.
Activated charcoal is something you can readily pick up at the pharmacy. If you know your dog's gotten something, or your cat, you can try and get the charcoal down to bind and absorb some of those poisons and toxins. So
All right.
things you do at home, rinse your dog. If you get direct contact, take the peroxide, charcoal, and if that's not working, you should really get in to see the vet.
Get in to see the vet. Great